Morning.
Fellers, how we doing?
Oh, so far so good.
Drywall's being stocked. It is not a job for lightweights, I'll tell you. That stuff is heavy. It's essentially sheets of rock, right? And the sheetrock is being not only delivered to the job site, but stocked inside the house by Long's Building Supply. Long's is sort of specializes in that here in Douglas County. And Jim Allen Drywall, which is who is doing this job for me, has a long-term relationship with those guys, for which I'm thankful. And I'm thankful that I'm not carrying this stuff in or setting it on that dolly or scattering not only through the house, but the right amount in each space. The right amount of 5/8 for the lid, the right amount of 1/2 inch for the walls, the right size sheets for the rooms. There's a lot more to it than you think, even though the first thing is being strong enough and having the endurance you need to unload a truckload and put it inside a house. So finally, at long last, it's time to put drywall in this thing. It's being delivered not only to the site, but stocked inside the house. And the guys that do that get really strong, and they have to learn to work together, because if you're not working with each other, you're working against each other, and that's something that just can't be tolerated. So there are different size sheets, there are different thicknesses of sheets, and they're paying attention to get the right number of sheets of the right type and the right size in the right rooms. I hope they get it right. The conventional wisdom in construction is that when the drywall is hung, the project is half done. Well, I don't think that's anywhere near the case on our project. But whatever it is, whatever percentage it is, it's a milestone that I am delighted to see show up and go by. I hope you enjoy watching this material go up. Drywall, hanging and taping and texturing it's sort of a hybrid trade, a hybrid craft between carpentry and concrete work, carpentry and plastering, carpentry and a really tight attention to finish details, because the surface of these boards, which can be put up pretty rough, have to be finished pretty nice. And so there's a few tricks, there's a few processes that I hope will be interesting. In most cases, the rock on the walls of the house is 1/2 inch thick and the ceilings are 5/8. This makes the ceiling a little stronger, which it needs to be to keep from sagging over time on the wider spans between the joists. Now, 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch thick drywall is made for special applications, and I've seen 1 inch thick rock installed in elevator shafts. But the vast majority of sheetrock in residential work is 1/2 inch or 5/8. The drywall sheets usually come 4 feet wide, but other widths can be ordered. For instance, in the downstairs of our house, we have 9-foot ceilings, so Jim ordered 54-inch wide sheets, 4'6", for these walls. And as far as the length goes, you can easily order in 8, 10, or 12-foot lengths. But in commercial work, if the quantities are big enough, you can buy sheetrock in 1-foot increments up to 16 feet long. If you order properly and hang the largest possible sheet every time, you're going to create fewer joints and seams that have got to be taped and finished. And this can save a lot of work. It can also reduce the amount of overall waste. You're going to understand this a lot better after the next couple episodes are done. The newest drywall product that's manufactured and sold in most places today is marketed as ultralight, and it really is a lot lighter than the older stuff. But as you can tell by watching here, it's not light at all. A 1/2 inch thick by 12-foot long sheet weighs 82 pounds, and a 5/8 by 12 is a serious 110 pounds each. So just stop to think for a minute what you're seeing when you're watching these men carry 2 at a time. Drywall is made primarily from gypsum, which is a mineral that's mined from the earth. It's a fascinating mineral, and it's used in an almost unbelievable assortment of things. Everything from agriculture and fertilizer to construction products to ingredients in foods and even beauty aids. It's pretty incredible stuff. And for drywall, one of its most important features is that it is non-combustible. So you're getting the idea by now that moving this much drywall is not a small job, which makes ordering the right amount of this stuff really important. And really, it's kind of a skill all on its own. Every drywall contractor is probably going to have their own method and technique for coming up with the correct amount, right? And yes, you can figure out the square footage off of the plans, but very often the best way on a job this size is to just stand in each room with the radio off and then point out and visualize each piece and just plain count. Now, Jim Allen came by a few weeks before this delivery and did a count to come up with this order. He has a neat technique of calculating materials by measuring the linear feet of wall in the house with a 100-foot tape. He measures and includes right through the windows, but only through one side of the doors. And he's always keeping track of special wall heights and preferred widths. Like most construction processes, you've just got to add and plan on adding a certain amount for waste. Especially in a house like this. It's got a few vaulted ceilings, a couple of stairways, a couple of tricky angles. For drywall, usually 15% for waste is about the right number. But I hauled almost 4,000 pounds of drywall scraps to the landfill. And if my numbers are right, at 1.6 pounds per square foot for half-inch rock and 2.3 pounds per square foot for 5/8, our waste factor on this project was about 17%. Every time I work with guys that are stocking drywall into a house, and especially up a steep set of stairs and around the corners and between the studs and getting the right amount in each room, I've got a new respect for just how hard these fellows work. It was a pleasure to help them. It was a pleasure to only have to help them for part of one afternoon. And I hope it's quite a while before I ever have to do this again. These guys did a heck of a job. That was They said about the second hardest house they've done in quite a while. The steep stairs, the tough corner at the top, lots of rock. They did great. That's a job that will make a man out of you if you don't start out as one. Thank you for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work. We're doing all right. GoPro, stop recording.